This video, again, I'm going to share another story with you guys. When I was first doing improv comedy, I was not good at it. For me, that's a challenge. I like to be good at the things that I do. I studied acting in college, and I was a fairly decent actor, but acting and improv are completely different, and I was not great at it. I get on stage with other improvisers who were terrific. This was in Utah, and for some reason, Utah breeds hilariously funny singers and actors and improv actors. So I would get on stage and I would feel like an idiot. I would just feel so slow. Like I wasn't thinking right. Like I just, like things weren't working in my brain because everybody else was coming up with these awesome ideas. And I'd try to come up with an idea, but I was always 2 or 3 steps behind. And I was frustrated. I was considering not doing improv anymore, which I loved. I loved improv, and giving it up would have been challenging, but I was like, I can't do it. I don't feel great about it. So my wife and I went on a road trip. This is back in the day before we had kids, and road trips were like, okay, it takes 10 minutes to get ready and then we're on the road trip. Now it's like a 3-day chore. But we got in the car and we were driving from Salt Lake down to Grand Junction, Colorado and back over the course of 3 days. And I practiced the entire ride. I was talking and telling stories and doing improv and playing improv games for the entire ride. It's about, from Salt Lake to Grand Junction is about a 7-hour drive. So it was 7 hours in the car one way that I was just talking the entire time. My voice went hoarse. We got there, we did our thing in Grand Junction with family, and we drove back, and I talked the entire way going back. And I was down in water. We were stopping so I could go to the bathroom because I was drinking so much, but I was keeping my voice hydrated, and I was just practicing. I was making stuff up. I was singing songs that she'd give me a suggestion, and I'd just take off and go on a song. I was making up raps. I was doing all kinds of stuff to practice improv. By the time I got back, I felt so much more comfortable. The next weekend, I was in an improv show, and I felt like I was at least in the same league as these guys that I was playing with. It was a week of practice. Well, it's 14 hours worth of pure practice, making up stories, making up songs, making up raps, just doing improv that it took before I felt comfortable playing in the big leagues. So your job now is to take these stories and to start practicing. Turn on your phone. Just turn on the camera on your phone and start telling stories. Okay? If you have kids, tell your kids. I told you about, in an earlier video, about how we would drive to the lake and it takes an hour to get there. I practice on my kids all the time telling stories. They know all of the things about me, but they love to hear them. And every time I tell them, it changes a little bit and it gets better. And they like it a little bit more. It's a little bit more exciting, right? Because I know what parts are going to really kind of dig into them and they're going to really bite onto. That's what you need to do. You need to practice your storytelling. So get a camera. Use your phone, whatever you need to do. Your spouse, take a road trip to Grand Junction, Colorado if you need to, but start practicing your stories. Okay, just go down the list, print it out, mark them off. Okay, yeah, this one. I'm good at this one now. Okay, I feel good about this one. I feel comfortable about this one. And start telling those stories and just practice because you will get better.